Hey guys, once again I'm doing a lightsaber review. This time it's the Legacy lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge, and it's the Reforged Skywalker saber, which is of course the Reyflex or the Skywalker lightsaber that appears in Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, when it was repaired by Rey. So let's go ahead and take a look. So it comes in this plastic box. Here it just talks about batteries and how to replace them. I think it takes, what, 3 AA's or 3 AAA's, I'm not sure. Yeah, right here. Requires 3 AA batteries, which are included, but that was the first thing I did, was I actually replaced them because they were poor quality batteries and I wanted some better ones. In general, this packaging is not great. It looks alright, but it's just very flimsy, cheap plastic. It's very squeaky. You push this button down and it releases the latch so you can open it up, but look at that. I mean, you see that kind of cracking? It's just horrible quality, but it's alright. Underneath here, so obviously inside is a lightsaber, underneath here is just styrofoam, and just a little bit of thin fabric. It's honestly not a nice display for if you want to kind of display this, and I'll probably do something later on. I might paint it, or I might buy like a box from Etsy or something, but for the most part it's alright for what it does. These retail at about, the Legacy lightsabers are, I think, between 150 to 200 on average. And this was out of stock for the longest time, but it's back in stock now, so you can get these at Walt Disney World in Florida. If you know someone who regularly visits a park in Florida, they're open. They can pick this up for you and ship it if you're not able to go there yourselves. So let's have a look. This is my first and only Legacy lightsaber. I've been to Galaxy's Edge before, but I bought the build your own lightsaber from Savvy's Workshop, which I've reviewed in the past. But this is my first Legacy lightsaber, the ones that are based on like the movies. So just quickly, let's go through first of all the design aesthetics. So in terms of accuracy, this is obviously a toy, okay? It's not a replica. It's not going to look very much like the high-end replicas, like the ones made by KR Sabers and those guys. Those are fantastic. Those are like true to the movie prop. This isn't, but this is as close enough. And for what you pay, you know, you get a really decent looking lightsaber, in my opinion. I mean, if you start comparing it to other, like this is my high-end Reyflex. It's not bad. I mean, you can, right off the bat, you can see that these grips here, they're much shorter. They're like a lower profile. The grips are supposed to be way taller. You know, instead of rivets, they've used some sort of kind of Allen head screws to kind of keep it all together. But I really like what they did here with the brown leather. The control box is obviously a switch that slides up and down. The paint job is not great. These scorch marks are definitely not my favorite. I've seen some better ones, and the ones they've gone with for the Legacy saber just don't look very convincing. But it's not bad, you know. I don't mind it. I thought about repainting it and getting some stencils, but it's just a lot of work and I'd rather not mess with it. The red button looks alright. It's kind of a soft plastic. Beer tab, slide switch, pins. The glass eye is actually well, not glass, but clear plastic or acrylic. So it looks alright. From this side, it actually looks pretty good. See if I compare, well, you know, I mean, you could see some obvious differences from the real prop, but it really isn't too bad. So this lip here isn't isn't right. Yeah, so in terms of accuracy, I would give it sort of a 4 or a 5 out of 10, maybe. I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh. I mean, the dimensions of it are actually pretty good. I was expecting it to be really kind of fat and chunky, but it's not. It's the almost the right size. Well, let's give it a 5 to 6 out of 10. All right, let's be a little fair on it. I think they did the best they could, and for the price, you really can't beat this. As I say, if you want a really nice, accurate Reforged Skywalker, or Reyflex as it's called, you would need something from KR Sabers. That's very good, but you'd have to put it together and do the painting and all of that yourself. So, you know, it's up to you. And that also costs much more than this. Okay, so let's take a look at functionality, what it can actually do and how it sounds. Let me just set this back up here. So over here is the blade plug, which you just pop out. And on this end is, if you rotate this that way, if you use, so these two notches, if you kind of turn them counterclockwise, you can undo the pommel and the speaker pops out with the batteries if you need them replaced. This is the switch to turn it on and off. You just slide it up and down. As there's no blade, it won't do anything at the moment. And right here is where you put the blade in. Notice that there are two sort of notches on the side there. I'm trying to get it to sort of focus. You can see a break in the inner, that black rim inside here. There's a notch. You can easily see it. And there's a big one over there. So there are two different sizes, a big one and a small one. And what you need to do, these will only work with the blades that you purchase from Galaxy's Edge, okay? Don't bother putting any other kind of removable blade in it. If it's from Hasbro, if it's from whatever, it won't work, okay? They're just designed to work with the Disney Light, and not only the Disney Light, but the Galaxy's Edge specifically, because there are other lightsabers at Disney parks which are also not compatible with these, which is weird, but there you go. So if you get the blade from Galaxy's Edge, which, whether it's from Legacy Sabers or from Savi's Workshop, it doesn't matter, both of them will work. You'll notice that they all have this on the hilt side. Is a kind of a little nub right there, and another one which is of a larger size on the opposite end, and this is where they fit into those two grooves that we talked about earlier. So you have to line up the big one with the bigger one and the small one with the smaller one, and just kind of, once you've lined it up, you just insert it, you push it in, and you hear that sound. Now for the most part, you normally have to put, like for Savi's Workshop, you have to press in and rotate clockwise to tighten it, and that's what it's like for most sabers. But for this one, for some reason, I was having trouble it wasn't rotating, and I knew it was loose in there, so I found that I have to rotate counterclockwise, which was really weird. But you do have to kind of press inwards and then rotate either, so I have to try it both ways, clockwise and counterclockwise, but you do have to get, otherwise it will go flying off, and you don't want that. Alright, so the blade is nice and tight inside. Let's just activate it and see. Push it on. I'm going to show you again what the blade does. So you get the sequential lighting up and down effect. That's because these blades have little LEDs inside. Once more. Which is a cool effect. It's more realistic. I'm just gonna turn it on and not do anything so you can listen to its kind of its hum in its like idle state without any movement. Yeah, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of that hum at all. It sounds nothing like a lightsaber, but this is a toy, you guys. So the soundboard in it is really cheap and very basic, and similar to the ones in Hasbro. You know, it's not worse. It's just not better. It would be unfair to compare it to, you know, custom lightsabers with good soundboards that sound more realistic, like this one. I'll just show you a
Greetings,
quick
Exalted
comparison.
One. I am Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight and friend to Captain Solo.
I mean, listen to the hum on this one. But it's just not fair to compare them, honestly. This is just a very high-end model. This is just your basic, mainstream park toy, okay? So don't expect too much from it. It's just something for fun. Let's listen to some of the swings. It's not very responsive. Again, you kind of have to swing and wait. Let's try some clashes. Yeah, it's not very responsive at all. Let's see how we're going to do this. It flickers to a white, which is quite a nice effect. And it gives you off there's maybe 3 or 4 different clash sounds that I'm hearing. So that's quite cool. So that's it. It's very, very basic. It's similar to Savi's Workshop, other Legacy lightsabers. I believe they all sound exactly the same from what I've seen on other YouTube videos. Hasbro, like the Black Series, they all sound very similar. Okay, if you're not impressed with the sound quality and this is something that is going to bug you, then you really need a custom lightsaber, which is something that you will have to source the parts for the hilt, and then you're going to have to buy battery, soundboard, chassis, you know, a blade, all that, and get someone to, you know, if you can't do it yourself, obviously you're going to have to pay someone as well to, so it can all add up, you know, and these cost you anywhere from 500 up to several thousand. They're not cheap at all, so
I am Luke Skywalker,
I only have one
Jedi
custom.
Knight and friend to Captain Solo.
I'll just show you a quick comparison between the swings.
Sound bank selection.
Greetings, Exalted.
Escape Obi-Wan Sith Lords. She will.
They're not with Kylo failed you. I won't.
Okay, so I've chosen a Rey sound font. Just to sort of showcase the difference in sound effects between the two. So we'll start with the Galaxy's Edge lightsaber. We'll turn it on. Now we'll turn on the custom lightsaber with the Rey sound font. It's a steadier hum. The swings are much more realistic. The clashes are better. Yeah, so the sound quality in these is superior to those from Galaxy's Edge, but for the price, design-wise, aesthetically, they look really good in my opinion. They're a cool collectible. If you're someone who doesn't want to spend, hundreds and thousands on just a lightsaber, especially if you want to collect a few. If you want to get they have more than 10 now, maybe 15 or more even. And if you want to get like a nice big collection, it just, there's no way you're going to do that with custom lightsabers. So this is a really good compromise in my opinion. Not much more else to say about this one. I can't really think of anything else. They've brought out some new ones now, which change the color. I think the first one they brought out that is the Ahsoka, and that's just come out. So essentially, you plug in the blade, you turn it on, and it's blue. But then you press the activation button or something, and it flickers and it changes to green. And that is unique to the Clone Wars Ahsoka lightsaber, so it's very cool. But it's a brand new feature that will not work with any of the old ones, even though they use the same blade. So they must have upgraded the, I don't know if they've, because these obviously can have RGB LEDs, so they can light up red, yellow, green, or blue, but I think it's a soundboard programming in them that I'm really not sure how they did it, but we'll see. Hopefully they upgrade these ones in the future to be able to kind of do more colors and more sounds. But for now, this is what we have. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.